by the Almighty God that I will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. This is a sworn testimony recited by witnesses who have made the commitment to tell the truth. However, it is no secret that people lie in criminal justice, which is why forensic science left at a crime scene is often the best form of definitive truth. My name is Taylor Thorpe. I'm a first-year forensic ISM student. Studying forensic science. My first interview was with Mr. Salico. He's a forensic latent fingerprint examiner for the Dallas Police Department. And to become a certified latent fingerprint examiner, you have to pass the written and practice portion of the International Association of Identification certification exam. This is an 8-hour-long exam, and 6 of those 8 hours are spent matching or excluding fingerprints, and with just one wrong identification, you have to start over. So there's definitely a lot of patience and specific attention to detail that is required to be a fingerprint examiner. You almost have to have an obsessive compulsion disorder to excel at this job because there's so much specific details in the fingerprints. This is why one of their biggest challenges as well is only getting partial or poor quality prints. Distortion of the prints happen a lot, and they have to be able to account for this when they are trying to match fingerprints. Also, Mr. Salico noted how he's been working there for 20 plus years, but some people who are new there and are younger than him just have that innate ability to see the matches quicker than he can. And then these are the 3 main types of fingerprints. You have the arch, the loop, and the whirl. My second interview was different from all my other interviews in that it was with the digital forensic analyst at the Dallas Police Department, Donald Wills. I wanted to push myself and see if I would be inclined to dive into the digital world of forensics. And what was really cool was that the Digital Forensics Lab in Dallas is actually the second formed in the country. And they helped process a lot of the digital email-related evidence left behind in 9/11. For instance, they were able to see that before 9/11, the terrorists had used a Kinko, so I think that was cool how they were able to discover that just from their lab in Texas. And also, after these efforts, Congress basically said that the U.S. needs more of these labs throughout the United States. So ever since then, digital forensics has been the fastest growing field of forensics since then. And because of this, he noted how we're always going to be a step behind technology. So he sees a lot of job openings in the future and positions opening up for people. In closing the interview, he also left me with how it's easier to teach people computer science and that natural investigative knowledge, that it's harder to teach people that. My third interview was with my current mentor, who is a CSI and property evidence manager at the Plano Police Department. He has a PhD and MS in genetics from the University of Arizona. He's also evaluated more than 1,500 cases, and he is testified as an expert in the field in more than 85 cases held across the U.S. and abroad. The first thing that he told me was how a lot of people think that you can get a DNA profile off of anything. He told me the story, which is not true. He told me the story of a bank robbery where the evidence left over was a leftover gummed up lollipop stick and a note that the robber had used to pass to the bank teller. So just by looking at these 2 pieces of evidence, you would think that the best specimen used to identify the robber and give the police the biggest lead would be the dum-dum lollipop sticks, which is basically just taking a swab of the inside of someone's mouth. However, the robber's DNA found on the stick wasn't in the DNA database, but the fingerprints on the note to the teller matched someone in the automated fingerprint identification system, which they call the AFIS. So this case just exemplifies how the best specimen is different case to case. So in this example, the fingerprints were the most useful source of evidence. The Plano Police Department also worked on the Christina Morris kidnapping case in the Shops Legacy, where 23-year-old Christina Morris went missing in the Shops Legacy parking garage. She was last seen walking with her old friend Enrique Orochi. During the investigation, they found DNA on 2 spots of the trunk and on the bottom and on the weather stripping along the bottom edge of the trunk opening. This past last September, they arrested him with aggravated kidnapping, and they weren't able to find out where she was or get him to cough up where he might have taken her, which was obviously the main goal of the investigation. But Dr. Staub reiterated how they can't let all the truth that the investigation surfaced outweigh their main goal. And so this just parallels with my quote, which is that failure is not the opposite of success, it is a part of success. I also interviewed Jennifer Flynn, who is the owner of Veritas Forensics, a private forensic training and consultation company. What I took away from her interview was that you can't watch CSI shows on TV and think that you're getting the whole truth of forensic science. On TV, it might take them 30 seconds to enter a fingerprint into the system and get a match, but in reality, processing evidence takes a lot longer, and you don't just solve a case in an episode's length, obviously. She also stressed to me how it can be an emotionally taxing job. The things that you're going to see, the things you're going to smell and touch, it can definitely take a toll on you, so you have to be able to compartmentalize things that bother you and not let it affect your performance. She also mentioned how she's currently working on a 32-year-old murder case in Baton Rouge that she's working on as well. My next interview was with Tamika Robinson, who works across the street at the Frisco Police Department as a criminalist. And what was interesting to me was her motivation to get into crime scene investigation was her father was the victim of a homicide, so this was how she got interested in working as a criminalist. She reiterated how it takes a special kind of person wanting to deal with mangled bodies at 3 a.m. because criminals don't really care about your schedule or what you're doing at the time they commit a crime, obviously. And she stressed the importance of giving facts when testifying in court. It's not your job to give your opinion or interpretations of what you thought happened. It's important to give facts. And it's also important to never post anything on social media that could jeopardize how credible you sound. If someone can discredit you, then they can discredit your testimony as well. This is where having a good moral compass and being ethical in every aspect plays a part in forensic science and working as a criminalist as well. Throughout my research this year, I have learned a lot of how a lot of the different forensic disciplines are being questioned by the Presidential Council of Advisors on Science and Technology because of flawed forensic feature comparisons, which is your blood spatter, your tire marks, your fingerprints, your DNA. All these are being questioned because they have led to miscarriages of justice before. There's also been a major call for reforms in the criminal justice system, and is to establish national forensic scientific standards. This makes sense because if you think about it, a crime scene is kind of the equivalent of a minefield. If you make one wrong move or collect one wrong piece of evidence, you could botch it, and you can botch the case and destroy pieces of evidence. So this also leads to another quote that I feel is applicable for my studies this year, which is, "There's no perfect crime, only imperfect investigations." So for my original work, I wanted to see where common mistakes are made and how to handle working with each member of the police department in a crime scene unit. So for my original work, I basically made up my own mock homicide case in a made-up town where I was employed as a criminalist. So through a software called SmartDraw, I just kind of made evidence where I thought it should be put. And then I went through and see, okay, how am I going to solve this case? What evidence is going to be important? Who am I going to be working with? So, for example, my body is right here. I decided that I would use an outward spiral search because this is the focal point of the case. So I would start from the inside and work my way on the outside. That's one method of investigation that you could use. And I also did, after that, I started my case write-up where I delineated just from the start to the end which research methods would be used and what would be deemed as important evidence, who I'd be working in conjunction with, and how I would be collecting the evidence as well. I think my original work can be used as a reference point for the different strategies and logic that criminalists use in their investigation analysis, and how I think it exemplifies how ultimately your evidence should guide your case. I also learned through my extensive research for my original work that because every case is unique, there's a lot of steps in the investigating case that's different depending on the case. But as another point of reference, I basically consolidated a general flowchart that has constants for every crime scene that could be used as a reference point as well. I think synthesizing a mock crime scene was a lot harder than I expected, and I definitely have a newfound appreciation for all law enforcement personnel. I feel like I have acquired a good foundation of forensics in my ISM journey so far, and I look forward to my upcoming work on my final product, where I plan on looking at an old case, or an old unsolved case, either one big one or a series of smaller ones, and basically comparing it with how I would solve it now with the new technology that they have right now, as opposed to that they had when the case was being investigated maybe 15 or 20 years ago. So I'm going to do some digging for some cases on that, and then I feel like I will just develop an even better understanding